Autumn has always been my favorite time of year. For the obvious reasons, like the beautiful colors on all the trees, or the cooler, crisp air, or even the various fall festivals going on in the rural communities outside of the city. But also for this strange melancholic nostalgia that I seem to experience every year. The longing for something that I can't quite put my finger on. Or maybe just nature's yearly reminder of the cyclic nature of life. A cue to reflect on the last year, to live life just a little bit deeper. Autumn took its sweet time showing up this year. So my friends Justin, Caitlin, and I did the next best thing and ventured out to the most autumn town in the area, the quaint village of Grand Rapids. The town was all decked out in its autumn attire, with pumpkins lining doorsteps and corn stalks decorating porches, and all the other preparations being made for the yearly Apple Butter Festival. We wandered around town and up and down the canal, snapping pictures and enjoying a beautiful early fall morning. The mighty Maumee River roared, and the orb weaver wove its web, and the old railroad bridge proudly spanned the Maumee as it has for 100 or so years. We came across this beautiful little cascade running down the hillside into the river that we had never seen before, and a thin veil of fog blanketed the landscape, hinting at the colder days to come. We also hit the forests as much as we could, because there's no better place to see the early signs of fall than in the woods. For the most part, it felt like a cool summer morning, with the autumn light hitting the trees and the occasional splashes of yellow and orange hinted otherwise. And as the weeks went by, finally more of those autumnal tints we craved began to show. Leaves began to speckle the ground, and mushrooms popped up out of the earth, and the mornings became cold enough my Carhartt was necessary. By the end of October, peak autumn was near. Colors blazed around every corner, and while there was still plenty of green, autumn was clearly in full swing. My best friend, Destiny, and I spent a bright morning after a few days of rain exploring the colorful trees of Oak Openings Preserve. The colors were freaking incredible. Ohio is also notorious for its gloomy winters, with months of endless cloudy days. So I made a point this year to enjoy as many sunrises and sunsets as I could, hitting up my favorite spot on Lake Erie, as well as meandering along some back roads and farm country. Rural Ohio is dotted with a lot of old schoolhouses and even some covered bridges, all right for exploring. And who can forget? Cornfields. Lots and lots of cornfields. I also spent some time visiting the old Interurban Bridge. Part of the old railroad system connecting the cities and towns across northwest Ohio, this bridge, unfortunately, has since fallen into disrepair over the last several decades. It's now reminiscent of old Roman ruins and has been slated for demolition by the state of Ohio in the next couple of years. Tragic, I know. Old things really tug hard at my soul. I always feel this connection with things from generations past. Perhaps things I've experienced in previous lifetimes, if that's a thing. I don't know. And that brings me back to the nostalgia that autumn brings me. I have distinct memories as a kid of this time of year. This feeling that as everything around me withers and turns brown, my life is still young, and there's still so much to look forward to. Feeling that in adulthood, I sometimes forget that there really is, for all of us, so much to look forward to.